the way you live. Most people don't realize they are constantly telling themselves a story, an ongoing narrative in their mind about who they are, what they are capable of, and what their past means. The problem is that too many people are living inside a story that keeps them stuck. They let past failures define them. They hold on to pain, mistakes, and disappointments as if those things are who they are, rather than experiences they have had. But what if the story you're telling yourself is the very thing keeping you from the life you want? And what if you could rewrite it? Everything in life is about perspective. Two people can go through the same situation, yet come away with completely different beliefs about what it meant. Imagine two people who are both fired from their jobs. One sees it as proof that they are a failure, that they are not good enough, and that life is unfair. They spend months or even years stuck in resentment, feeling like a victim of their circumstances. The other sees it as an opportunity, a wake-up call to find something better, to grow, to reinvent themselves. They use it as fuel to take a new path, to develop new skills, and ultimately to build something even greater. The same event happened to both, but the meaning they gave to it shaped their future. This is the power of reframing your story. Nothing in life has meaning except the meaning you give it. The past is just a collection of events. It is not holding you back. Only your interpretation of it is. You cannot change what happened, but you can always change how you see it. You can choose to look at every painful experience as something that broke you, or you can choose to see it as something that made you strong. You can choose to focus on what went wrong, or you can focus on what you learned, how you grew, and how you can use that experience to build a better future. Think about the biggest challenges you've faced in life. Maybe there was a time you felt rejected, abandoned, or humiliated. Maybe you experienced failure in a way that shook your confidence. Maybe you made a mistake that you've never fully forgiven yourself for. Now ask yourself, what story have you been telling yourself about that experience? Is it a story of pain and limitation, or is it a story of resilience and growth? If you've been holding on to a disempowering story, it's time to change it. Because as long as you keep repeating the same old narrative, you will keep living inside its limitations. Some people say, I am this way because of my past. But the truth is, your past is only one version of the story. The version you choose to focus on will determine your future. If you focus on the failures, you will keep proving to yourself that you are not capable. If you focus on how you overcame, how you survived, how you adapted, then you will see yourself as strong, resilient, and unstoppable. You are not your past. You are the meaning you give to it. Reframing your story does not mean denying what happened or pretending that pain did not exist. It means deciding that you will not let it define you in a way that keeps you stuck. It means taking control of the narrative and choosing a meaning that empowers you rather than limits you. If you went through heartbreak, instead of saying, I am unlovable, you can say, that experience taught me what I truly deserve. If you failed at something, instead of saying, I will never succeed, you can say, that experience gave me the lessons I need to win next time. One of the greatest examples of reframing comes from the most successful people in history. If you look at those who have achieved great things, you will notice that they all have something in common. They refuse to see setbacks as the end of their story. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Any of them could have used those moments to create a story of failure, but instead, they used them as fuel. They reframed those experiences as motivation to become even better. Your mind is constantly looking for evidence to support the story you believe. If you believe you are not good enough, your brain will find proof of that everywhere. If you believe you are destined for greatness, your brain will find proof of that instead. The moment you change your story, you change what you focus on, and the moment you change what you focus on, you change your reality. One of the fastest ways to reframe your story is to ask yourself better questions. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, how can I use this experience to grow? Instead of saying, this ruined my life, ask, how can I make this the best thing? that ever happened to me. The mind is like the words you use, both out loud and in your mind, are shaping your reality in ways you may not even realize. Language is not just a tool for communication. It is the framework that structures your thoughts, emotions, and actions. The way you describe your experiences, the way you talk about yourself, and the words you repeat daily are programming your brain. Your language determines whether you feel empowered or defeated, whether you take action or hesitate, whether you see obstacles or opportunities. If you want to take control of your life, you must first take control of your language. Most people go through life unconsciously using words that limit them. They say things like, I'm terrible at this, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm so stressed. These phrases might seem harmless, but they are powerful commands to your brain. When you say, I'm terrible at this, your mind accepts it as truth and stops looking for ways to improve. When you constantly repeat, I'm overwhelmed, your nervous system responds by increasing stress and anxiety. Language is not just a reflection of your thoughts. It actively creates your experience. Change your words and you change the way you feel. Think about the difference between saying, I'm nervous versus I'm excited. The physical sensations are almost identical. A racing heart, adrenaline, heightened awareness. But the words change the meaning. If you tell yourself you're nervous, your brain sees the situation as a threat. But if you say, I'm excited, your brain interprets it as an opportunity. This simple shift can transform the way you approach challenges, whether it's public speaking, a big meeting, or any high-pressure moment in life. Janet also shapes how you experience pain and hardship. Imagine two people facing the same difficult situation. One says, this is a nightmare. I can't handle this. The other says, this is a challenge, but I will find a way through. The situation itself has not changed, but the language used alters their emotional state and ability to take action. The first person feels trapped, while the second person feels empowered. The way you describe your struggles determines whether you feel like a victim or a fighter. Your internal dialogue, the words you say to yourself, can be your greatest source of strength or your biggest obstacle. If you constantly criticize yourself, saying things like, I'm not good enough, I always mess up, or I'll never succeed, you are reinforcing a story that keeps you stuck. But if you replace those phrases with, I'm learning, I'm growing, and I can handle this, you shift your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who is capable, adaptable, and strong. And one of the most powerful things you can do is upgrade your vocabulary. Instead of saying, I have to, say, I get to. Instead of I'm exhausted, try I'm recharging. Instead of I failed, say, I learned. These small adjustments seem simple, but they create massive shifts in your mindset. Your brain takes words literally. When you tell yourself you're exhausted, your body follows suit. But if you say, I'm recharging, your mind starts looking for ways to regain energy. Consider how powerful this principle is in relationship. The words you choose can either deepen your connection with others or create distance. Saying, you never listen to me triggers defensiveness. But saying, I feel unheard and I'd love to talk this through invites understanding. When you use words intentionally, you gain influence over not just yourself, but the people around you. Gratitude is one of the most effective ways to harness the power of language. If you make it a habit to say, I'm grateful for this challenge because it's making me stronger, instead of, I hate that this is happening to me, you completely reframe your experience. The words, I am grateful, send a signal to your brain to focus on solutions rather than problems. When you shift your language toward appreciation, your entire energy changes. Think about how leaders, athletes, and peak performers use language. They don't say, I hope I win. They say, I will find a way. They don't say, I can't do this. They say, I'm figuring it out. They use words to build mental toughness, to create certainty in themselves, and to program their minds for success. If you want to elevate your life, you must speak in a way that reinforces strength, not weakness. Your body responds to the words you use. Try saying out loud, I'm completely exhausted, and notice how you feel. Then say, I have more than enough energy to handle this. And see the difference. Even if you don't believe it at first, your physiology starts aligning with your words. The more you repeat something, the more it becomes your reality. This is why affirmations are so powerful. When you repeatedly say, I am strong, I am resourceful, I am unstoppable, you start acting in alignment with those words. It's also important to be aware of the words you allow into your space. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, criticize, and speak negatively, their language will seep into your mind. But if you immerse yourself in empowering conversations, books, podcasts, and people who use uplifting language, your mindset will reflect that. The environment you create with words is just as important as the words you speak to yourself. Another way to harness the power of language is to remove words that weaken you. Eliminate phrases like, I try, and replace them with, I will. Drop, I'm not good at this, and say, I'm improving every day. The way you speak about yourself and your abilities determines what you believe to be possible. Your words either open doors or close them. Think about some of the most iconic figures in history. The greatest leaders, visionaries, and change makers all used language to inspire action, not just in others, but in themselves. Martin Luther King Jr. did not say, I kind of have a dream. He said, I have a dream. Muhammad Ali did not say, I hope I'm the greatest. He declared, I am the greatest. They understood that language is the foundation of belief, and belief drives action. If you want to change your life, start by changing your language. Speak in a way that strengthens you. Describe your challenges in a way that empowers you. Talk about yourself as someone who is capable, resilient, and unstoppable. Because the words you choose are not just words, they are the instructions you give to your mind and ultimately the script you write for your life. There is a fundamental truth in life: nothing changes until you do. You can have your mindset is the foundation of everything in your life. It determines how you see the world, how you react to challenges, and ultimately what you achieve. Every person has moments of doubt, fear, and negativity, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they choose to respond to those moments. Mastering your mindset isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about training your mind to see them as opportunities rather than obstacles. Most people don't realize that their thoughts are shaping their reality every single day. If you wake up and immediately think today is going to be stressful, your brain goes to work proving you right. You'll notice every inconvenience, every frustration, every challenge, and by the end of the day, you'll feel exhausted and overwhelmed. But if you wake up and say, no matter what happens today, I will find a way to grow, suddenly your brain is looking for solutions, for lessons, for opportunities. This isn't just a positive thinking gimmick. It's how your brain is wired. The mind is always looking for confirmation of what you believe to be true. Think about this. Two people can go through the exact same situation, yet walk away with completely different experiences. Imagine two people stuck in traffic. One is banging on the steering wheel, cursing, frustrated, feeling like the universe is against them. The other turns on their favorite music, enjoys the extra time to think, and arrives at their destination in a much better state. Same traffic, same delay, but a completely different reality based on their mindset. Your life works the same way. Challenges will come, setbacks will happen, but the meaning you attach to them determines whether they break you or make you stronger. If you believe that every problem is a dead end, you'll stay stuck. But if you believe that every challenge contains an opportunity, you'll start seeing solutions where others see roadblocks. The only difference is how you choose to look at it. Some people allow negative experiences to define them. Maybe you failed at something in the past, and now you tell yourself you're just not good enough. Maybe someone hurt you, and you've carried that pain for years. But here's the truth: the past only controls you if you keep reliving it in your mind. If you keep telling yourself the same disempowering story, you'll keep getting the same results. The only way to break free is to take control of your thoughts and reframe your experiences in a way that empowers you. One of the fastest ways to shift your mindset is by changing the questions you ask yourself. Most people ask themselves terrible questions like, why does this always happen to me? Or why am I so unlucky? Your brain is like a powerful computer, and when you give it a question, it searches for answers. If you ask why you're unlucky, your brain will dig up every failure, every setback, every bad memory, and serve it to you on a silver platter. But what if you started asking better questions? Instead of, why does this happen to me? Try, what can I learn from this? Instead of, why do I always fail? Ask, how can I grow from this experience? The moment you change the question, you change the focus. And where focus goes, energy flows. Another key to mastering your mindset is being mindful of what you feed your mind. Just like your body responds to the food you eat, your mind responds to the thoughts you consume. If you spend hours consuming negative news, scrolling through social media, comparing yourself to others, or surrounding yourself with people who complain all day, your mind will reflect that negativity. But if you intentionally fill your mind with empowering content, books, podcasts, mentors, inspiring people, you start shifting your perspective and training your brain to operate at a higher level. Have you ever noticed that successful people tend to be optimistic? It's not because they never fail or face challenges. It's because they've trained themselves to see every setback as a setup for something greater. They understand that their thoughts are shaping their future, and they refuse to let negativity take control. This isn't just about feeling good. It's about conditioning your mind to be resilient, to push forward even when things don't go your way. Mastering your mindset also requires taking responsibility for your emotions. It's easy to blame circumstances, people, or bad luck for how we feel, but the moment you realize that you are in control of your emotional state, you take back your power. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. You decide how you react. You decide what meaning you give to experiences, and that decision will either keep you stuck or set you free. Think about some of the most successful people in history. Do you think they never had doubts, never faced failures? Of course they did. But they didn't let those moments define them. They controlled their mindset, and that's what made them unstoppable. They chose to see problems as stepping stones rather than limitations. And most importantly, they took action despite fear and doubt. This is the real secret. Your mindset isn't just about what you think, it's about what you do. You can read all the self-help books in the world, but if you don't take action, nothing changes. The fastest way to shift your mindset is to start proving to yourself that you are capable. Take small actions every day that reinforce the belief that you are strong, resourceful, and celebrate small wins. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. The more you act, the more your mind starts believing in your ability to overcome anything. If you want to unlock your mind's hidden power, start by mastering your mindset. Catch negative thoughts before they take root. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Feed your mind with empowering content. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Take responsibility for your emotions. And most importantly, take action. Because at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the story you keep telling yourself. Change your story, change your mindset, and you will change your life. Your body and mind are deeply connected, and the way you move, breathe, and carry yourself directly impacts your emotions, energy levels, and overall mindset. Most people don't realize that their physiology is one of the fastest and most powerful ways to shift their mental state. When you're feeling down, stressed, or overwhelmed, the first instinct is usually to retreat inward, to shrink, to slow down, to slump into a posture that reflects that negative state. But what if instead you made a radical shift in your body first? Think about how you feel when you're truly confident, powerful, and excited. Your shoulders are back, your chest is open, your head is held high, and your breath is deep and full. Now compare that to how you feel When you're experiencing fear, doubt, or sadness, your shoulders drop, your breathing becomes shallow, your movements slow down, and your entire presence contracts. This isn't just coincidence, it's a direct link between how you move and how you feel. If you've ever seen an Olympic athlete before a big competition, you've probably noticed that they don't just sit quietly, hoping to feel confident. They move, they bounce on their feet, they stretch, they shake out their muscles, they take deep, powerful breaths. They are consciously using their body to generate the mental state they need to perform at their peak. If the best in the world do this, why wouldn't you? One of the fastest ways to break out of a negative state is to change your body in an instant. If you're feeling sluggish, stand up and jump up and down for 10 seconds. If you're feeling anxious, take a series of slow, deep breaths while straightening your posture. If you're feeling stuck in your thoughts, go for a walk. Get outside and move with purpose. Movement shifts energy, and energy shifts emotions. Breath is another key factor in controlling your physiology. The way you breathe directly influences how you feel. Shallow, rapid breathing tells your brain you're in danger. It triggers stress, anxiety, and a fight or flight response. But deep, controlled breathing signals safety, calm, and clarity. Many of the most powerful meditation and peak performance techniques start with breath work because it's the foundation of physiological control. A simple way to instantly shift your state is to practice deep, intentional breathing. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times. And notice how quickly your body begins to relax, your mind becomes clearer, and your emotions stabilize. This isn't just theory, it's science. Your nervous system responds directly to how you breathe, and mastering this connection gives you power over your emotions in any situation. Now, consider posture. Think about someone who is deeply depressed. How does their body look? Their shoulders are slumped, their head is down, their movements are slow and heavy. Now think about someone who is confident and successful. Their posture is upright, their movements are strong, their presence is expansive. The difference is profound, and here's the best part. You don't have to wait to feel confident to start carrying yourself with confidence. If you change your posture first, your mind will follow. A simple yet powerful practice is to check in with your body throughout the day. Ask yourself, how am I holding myself right now? If you find yourself slouching, straightening up can instantly give you more energy. If you notice you're breathing shallowly, taking a few deep breaths can ground you. If you feel sluggish, standing up and stretching can wake up your system. These small adjustments may seem insignificant, but over time they reprogram your nervous system to operate in a more powerful, energized state. Your voice is also a reflection of your physiology. Have you ever noticed that when someone is excited and passionate, their voice naturally becomes louder, clearer, and more dynamic? And when someone is tired, sad, or defeated, their voice becomes quiet, monotone, and lifeless. That's because emotion lives in movement, including the movement of your vocal cords. If you want to feel more confident, speak with more energy. If you want to feel more positive, smile when you talk. It sounds simple, but these shifts create an immediate and powerful effect on your state of mind. One of the greatest examples of physiology shaping performance is in the world of sports. Athletes don't just train their skills, they train their body language, their breathing, and their movement patterns to create a winning mindset. A boxer doesn't enter the ring looking defeated. A sprinter doesn't start a race with low energy. They use their physiology to send a message to their brain. I am ready, I am strong, I am unstoppable. You don't have to be an athlete to apply this principle to your own life. Whether you're preparing for a big presentation, a tough conversation, or simply getting through the day with energy and confidence, your body is the key to setting the right mental tone. Your environment also plays a role in your physiology. Have you ever noticed how being in certain spaces makes you feel more energized while others make you feel drained? A cluttered, dark, and stale environment often leads to a sluggish, uninspired state, but a bright, open, and vibrant space can lift your energy instantly. If you want to change how you feel, change your surroundings. Stand up, stretch, move to a different room, or step outside. Even something as simple as opening a window for fresh air can shift your energy dramatically. One of the most effective ways to make lasting physiological changes is to incorporate movement into your daily routine. You don't have to spend hours in the gym to feel the benefits of movement. A quick morning stretch, a short walk, or even just standing and moving around while working can make a huge difference. When you make movement a habit, you create a body that is naturally energized, resilient, and primed for success, some of it. Most successful people in the world start their day with movement, whether it's a workout, stretching, yoga, or even just a few minutes of intentional breathing. They know that by setting the right physiological state first thing in the morning, they are priming their mind to perform at its best throughout the day. If you wake up feeling sluggish and immediately reach for your phone, scrolling through social media before even getting out of bed, you are already putting yourself in a reactive state. But if you get up, move your body, take deep breaths, and step into the day with intention, you are setting the tone for success. The truth is, you have more control over your emotions than you think. Most people assume that their feelings dictate their actions. I feel tired, so I'll act tired. But in reality, the opposite is true. Your actions dictate your feelings. If you act energized, your body will generate energy. If you move with confidence, your mind will start to believe in your confidence. If you breathe deeply and stand tall, you will feel stronger and more in control. Shifting your physiology is one of the fastest and most powerful ways to take control of your mental and emotional state. It's not about waiting for motivation or confidence to strike, it's about creating it in the moment. When you learn to master your body, you learn to master your mind. And when you master your mind, you unlock a level of power and potential that most people never even tap into. So the next time you feel stuck, frustrated, or low on energy, don't just sit there hoping for things to change. Stand up, move, breathe, shift your body first, and your mind will follow. Because when you take control of your physiology, you take control of your life. The story you tell yourself about your life is the foundation of everything you experience. It shapes the way you see the world, the way you react to challenges, and ultimately
most empowering mindset, the most positive language, and the best intentions, but without action, none of it matters. Too many people get stuck in the cycle of overthinking, waiting for the perfect moment, or drowning in self-doubt, hoping that someday things will align for them. But the people who achieve extraordinary results don't wait. They move, they take massive action, even when they don't feel ready, even when fear is screaming in their heads. Because they understand one thing: momentum creates breakthroughs, not hesitation. Most people live in their heads. They think about what they want, they analyze every possibility, they make lists, set goals, and dream about what life could be like. But dreaming alone doesn't change anything. The only way to create real transformation is to take massive, relentless action. This means doing more than just dipping a toe in the water. It means jumping in with full commitment, burning the bridges behind you, and deciding that failure is not an option. When you go all in, you force yourself to find a way to adapt, to push through challenges because there is no other choice. The biggest mistake people make is waiting to feel motivated. They think they need to be inspired before they act, but that's completely backward. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. The moment you start moving, even in the smallest way, your mind shifts. Your energy rises, your confidence grows, you stop being stuck in fear and start stepping into your power. That's why the most successful people don't sit around waiting for the right moment. They create it. They take the first step, then the second, and suddenly they have unstoppable momentum. The truth is, perfectionism is just fear in disguise. So many people delay action because they think they need more preparation. more knowledge, or a perfect plan. But real success is messy. It's built on trial and error, on failing fast and learning even faster. If you wait until you have everything figured out, you will never start. And if you never start, you never grow. The most successful people embrace imperfection. They know they will stumble, but they also know they will keep getting up, adjusting, and improving. There's a reason why the most transformative moments in life come when you are forced to act. When you lose a job and have to figure out a new path, when a crisis pushes you beyond your comfort zone, when there's no choice but to step up. These moments show you what you are truly capable of, but why wait for a crisis? Why not create that urgency within yourself right now? Why not act as if your dreams are on the line? Because they are. Massive action doesn't mean being reckless. It means being relentless. It means committing to your vision with such intensity that nothing can shake you. It means showing up every single day, no matter what. If you're building a business, it means making the calls, putting in the work, and doing what others won't. If you're transforming your health, it means moving your body daily, eating in a way that fuels you, and refusing to let excuses win. If you're changing your mindset, it means feeding your mind with empowering beliefs, surrounding yourself with people who push you higher, and eliminating the thoughts that weaken you. Action also breeds clarity. So many people say they don't know what they want or what the right path is, but the truth is clarity comes from movement. You don't sit and think your way to purpose. You act your way into it. Every step you take reveals the next one. Every action you take gives you feedback. If something works, you keep going. If it doesn't, you adjust. But if you do nothing, you stay stuck. One of the greatest ways to break through fear is to take action immediately. The longer you wait, the stronger the fear becomes. The moment you have an idea, act on it. The moment you feel hesitation, push forward. Train yourself to move before your mind talks you out of it. If you have a goal, don't just write it down. Do something today that moves you toward it. Send the email, make the call, take the step. Because the more you train yourself to act, the more unstoppable you become. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It's action. It's the willingness to do what others won't. It's making the decision that no matter what, you will find a way. It's pushing past discomfort, ignoring the voice that says, maybe later, and stepping up now. Because now is the only moment that exists. Now is the only time you have. If you don't take action today, then when? Every major success story is built on a foundation of relentless action. The greatest athletes didn't just practice when they felt like it. They showed up every day, rain or shine, exhausted or energized. The greatest entrepreneurs didn't wait for the perfect product or the right timing. They launched, failed, learned, and adjusted. The greatest leaders didn't wait for permission to make an impact. They stepped up, took risks, and created change. What would happen if you decided right now that you were done waiting? What if you committed to taking action today, no matter how small? What if, instead of making excuses, you made moves? What if you stopped hesitating and just did the thing you know you need to do? That is how breakthroughs happen. That is how transformation begins. One decision, one action, one step at a time, until suddenly you have built something unstoppable. Energy is everything. It influences the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you show up in life. The people you surround yourself with, the environments you put yourself in, and the energy you allow into your space are shaping you more than you realize. If you are constantly drained, uninspired, or stuck in the same patterns, chances are it's not just about your mindset, it's about your environment. If you want to elevate your life, you must be intentional about the energy you allow around you. Think about the people in your life. Every single person you interact with is either lifting you up or pulling you down. There is no neutral. Some people fuel your fire, push you forward, and make you feel unstoppable. Others drain your energy, fill your mind with doubt, and keep you stuck in negativity. If you spend time with people who complain, criticize, and settle for mediocrity, their energy will seep into your mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, positive, and relentless in their pursuit of greatness, you will naturally rise to their level. Your brain is wired for social influence. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly absorbing the energy, beliefs, and habits of the people around you. If you want to transform your life, you need to be intentional about your circle. Seek out people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you beyond what you thought was possible. Spend time with those who have already achieved what you want to achieve, because their mindset will become your mindset. Their standards will become your standards. It's not just about the people. You also have to be aware of the energy you consume. What are you feeding your mind every day? Are you filling it with empowering ideas, or are you drowning in negativity? The music you listen to, the podcasts you follow, the books you read, the social media you scroll through, it's all shaping your energy. If you constantly expose yourself to news that makes you anxious, conversations that drain you, and content that keeps you stuck in comparison and doubt, your energy will reflect that. But if you intentionally consume content that inspires you, teaches you, and fuels your growth, you will feel the difference immediately. Energy is contagious. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt drained, even if nothing was said, or been around someone so passionate and fired up that their energy made you want to take action? That's because energy is transmitted. Your environment is constantly feeding you signals about what is possible, what is normal, and what you should expect from yourself. If you surround yourself with high energy, positivity, and relentless drive, it becomes your new baseline. This is why live events, mastermind groups, and communities of high performers are so powerful. When you put yourself in a room with people who are playing at a higher level, you absorb their energy, you see what is possible, you realize that the limitations you thought you had were never real. They were just a reflection of your previous environment. This is why some of the most successful people in the world make it a priority to immerse themselves in environments that elevate them. They know that energy is everything. Your physical space matters too. If you are constantly in an environment that feels chaotic, uninspiring, or heavy, it will affect your state of mind, your workspace, your home, even the way you organize your surroundings. Everything carries energy. When you clear out the clutter, create an environment that feels powerful, and surround yourself with things that inspire you, your energy shifts. This is why some people feel more productive in certain places, or why a simple change in scenery can spark new ideas. Your environment is either draining you or fueling you. Choose wisely. One of the biggest energy shifts you can make is learning to protect your space. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. You do not have to engage in every argument, entertain every drama, or give your time to people who drain you. You have the right to set boundaries. You have the right to walk away from conversations that pull you down. You have the power to decide who and what gets your energy. When you stop giving energy to the things that don't serve you, you free up space for the things that do. Energy is not just something you receive, it's something you create. If you want to be surrounded by energy, you have to bring it. If you want to attract high energy people, be a high energy person. If you want to be in a space of growth, show up as someone who is growing. You cannot wait for the world to change around you. You must be the source of the energy you seek. Think about the difference between someone who walks into a room with passion, excitement, and confidence versus someone